That was a test.
At any time during the Vietnam War, were you sent to protect the Kennedys?
Yes.
Was that prior or after?
That was prior to the time.
Prior to that, you were with the Kennedys, and how did you obtain that position, sir?
Well, that was just part of the special ops that I was involved in.
And do you have any information about the Kennedy assassination that people should know about? What would that be, sir?
Who was it assassinated and who it was?
Who do you think assassinated him, sir?
The CIA.
The CIA. What leads you to believe that the Central Intelligence Agency of the United States
tried the first time? They tried to assassinate him 4 times.
4 times.
The 4th time he was killed.
At any of those times, did you rescue the president or any of his family members?
That was it was the same year he was killed in the 60s.
Were you having to protect not only him but his family?
Oh yeah.
Did you protect his family or any member of his family on a beach from a supposed boat attack, an alleged boat attack that was on the beach? The gunmen come in. This is something that you've said to us prior to this interview. Or was that just something that you thought had happened?
Well, yeah, it happened. I'm not familiar with all
your
the
memory is kind of vague about it.
Right.
Okay, let's get back to Vietnam. Were there a lot of Chinese and Russians there?
Well, they were all over the place.
And did you engage the enemy?
Constantly.
Were you in any type of position to fly any aircrafts in Vietnam?
Yeah, quite a few times.
Did you engage any celebrities there?
Yes, I did. It was Robert Downing Sr.
And was there anyone named Chris Christopherson anywhere near?
Definitely was. He was my close friend.
And he was where, sir?
He was in the same, we flew in the same team together.
And was that part of the Germany training that you went through with him? Okay, sir. And so now we're back at Vietnam again, and we're with Robert Downing Sr. And what operative did you go on him? What operation?
We basically just flew on different operations together. It was.
Were you captured at all by the Vietnamese or the Chinese?
I spent 6 weeks in a field at a camp. And
how did you escape?
Well, the Chinese haven't forgotten that. That is Colonel Altran.
And what happened?
There was nobody left.
Give us more details so other Vietnam veterans that possibly could be there would know this.
A man by the name of Tabby, we nicknamed him Tabby, and I can't remember his actual name.
Yeah.
It's been too many years ago, but John Morganfield was another one of my close friends, and he was there with me, Tabby and Johnny both. And
what did you do to escape?
That's what I was about to tell. Johnny was on the table. He was being tortured. He had just had certain parts of his body cut off, and one of his eyes was cut out, one of his arms was cut off, and
I know this must choke you up a little bit, sir, so take a deep breath and just vaguely tell us how you escaped the Chinese.
While we was in that interrogation room there, that Johnny, they was cutting his arm off, and
where were you, sir? Were you hung?
I was hanging from the ceiling by my arms.
Okay, and what were they using to any devices on you? Did they put any probes in any areas?
They was constantly putting needles into you everywhere, and other things that they did, which one of the things they done was to take and hang you by a tripod over a cesspool and lower you into it with all kinds of
rats and stuff.
Well, it was
poop.
Yeah, that and the leeches and everything else.
Well, how did you escape, sir?
Anyway, while I was in that interrogation room there, why Johnny started screaming, "Help me! They're killing me!"
Mm-hmm.
And he says, anyway, he was hollering for help,
and you did what?
That's when I told them, I says, Johnny, I says, that's all they'll get off of you.
Okay.
And they thought that they was going to put me on that table too. And they started letting me down from the ceiling. When they did, my feet hit that floor, and that's when I killed the officer that was standing right in front of me. I killed him.
Now, was there a Russian there?
No, that was Chinese that was in that interrogation.
Mm-hmm. Are they the ones that had the little red star in their hat, possibly, on their shirt?
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
So you took care of the Chinese there, and then you went further on. What did you do in Vietnam? What are some of the other things that might jog the memory of some of the men that
We had to go into...
will be seeing this tape?
We had to go into Cambodia to locate a certain colonel that went into Cambodia under well, he was hiding in Cambodia there. He had a few problems.
And you were in charge of this effort?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Operation.
Anyway.
What else can you tell us about your Vietnam experience?
Then I was involved in an operation going up into China when there was a platoon of our Green Berets, or part of Green Berets, and other soldiers that escaped from a field heavy camp in Laos. And the team and I had heard the call come over the radio to leave them and forget them. They were dispensable.
Yeah.
And I told the commandant at the base, I said, well, I'm not leaving them there. I said, they deserve to go home too.
And at the time, what was your rank?
I believe at that time I was either a major or I believe I was a major at that time, if I'm not mistaken.
So that was a few years later that you went from the lieutenant to, you moved through the ranks and had battlefield commission, and you made it to major, and you went to China, and you helped free some special forces, and you come back. Do you know any of the men that you freed? Do you know their names? Any of their nicknames?
I've got their names on record in my room. I don't have them with me. But I do know that...
Do you have any pictures of the places you went to over there?
Yes, I do have that.
Now, you say the government has erased some of your mind. Do you know why?
They erased it all for 20 years. And
why would they do that to you?
Because they did not want me to remember anything that ever happened.
Do you believe that it had something to do with the Kennedy assassination and some of the stuff that was going on in Vietnam?
It was more than that. It was because of a lot of operations that there was certain...
What was operations over there, sir, that would have been deemed impossible for the American public to understand?
Well,
do you remember that?
Drug operations.
Are you saying that you were involved in the drugs?
No, I was involved in the locating or finding out what was going on within the drug traffic.
So there was a good part of the government and a bad part of the government.
Definitely was.
But now the bad part is what tried to assassinate you.
Right.
How many times did they try it prior to 71? Were there any assassination attempts in Vietnam?
Well, I believe that they was trying to get me when I was in that field heavy camp. That's one time. I believe that they was responsible for possibly setting my...
When did the Russians become involved? You talked about that off the record.
Well, they was all the time involved in the operations.
But what made you so upset about what they were doing? What are some of the particulars of what they were doing that upset you so?
Well, the Russians was giving weapons and all kinds of assistance to the North Vietnamese there in the war.
Were any of the Chinese or the Russians, did they sexually attack the Vietnamese people, the young girls?
Oh, shoot.
Or the young boys even?
They was doing that all the time.
And what did you do if you came across that? What was your answer to that type of behavior?
I had I didn't, anyway. I assassinated a bunch of people because of it, let's put it that way.
Okay, sir. So your answer to that type of treachery was death?
That was instant.
That was instant death. And did they, was there someone that you met over there he would have gone by the name of the Apple Man that they feared?
Yeah.
And why did the Vietnamese dislike the Apple Man? What was his mode of operation?
He terrified them because he would grab one of those Vietnamese and rape them.
Now, the girls or the boys?
Men.
Oh, the men. He would chase them down, sir?
He would chase them up a tree and cut the tree down.
He would cut the tree down.
Oh, yeah.
And then what he would do with them?
Rape them.
He'd just pull their pants